Hello friends. Today we will continue to study the pantheon of Slavic pagan gods. This time we will get acquainted with Rod and Lada, Stribog, and Zhiva, she who breathes life. Before the oceans even learned how to roar, before the first mountains were tall enough to cast a shadow across the land, there was something else, something vast and restless. There was only wandering air, untamed, boundless, dreaming of a purpose, of a direction. And from the very first breath of the primordial void he rose, Stribog, the grandfather of winds. Not just a god, but the moving spirit of the world itself, the very pulse of existence. He didn't walk on the earth, he rushed across it. He didn't speak in a normal voice. His words were the whisper through the leaves that splits the sky. He was everywhere and nowhere, filling every unseen corner of creation. Now it's easy to mistake him for chaos, to see a hurricane tear across the coast and think, this is destruction. This is madness, but you'd be wrong. Stribog isn't chaos, no. He is freedom given form. He is the untamable essence of change. Think about it. Where he blows gently, what happens? Fields of grain awaken from their slumber, dancing in golden waves. A ship's sails fill and a grand journey begins, powered by his breath. He is the quiet promise of a new beginning, the nudge that sets you on your path. He is the cool breeze on a hot day, a moment of relief, a sign that things are moving, shifting for the better. But where he rages, that's a different story. Where he rages, ancient trees bow their heads in respect. The seas rise up to greet him, churning with a terrible beauty. Kings, safe in their stone castles, feel the walls tremble and are forced to their knees. In his fury, mortals remember their place. We remember humility. We remember that we are small parts of a much, much larger world. A world that answers to forces far older and more powerful than any crown or fortress. His children, the countless winds, are his messengers and his artisans. They are the ones who carry seeds from one continent to another, planting forests where there were none. They are the ones who gather the clouds and bring life-giving rain to thirsty soil. And with a patient, relentless fury that spans millennia, they are the ones who carve the faces of mountains and sculpt the shape of canyons. But listen closely, because this is the most important truth. This is the part that changes everything. Stribog is not just the wind outside your window. He is the wind within. That breath you just took, that's his spark. That feeling of restlessness deep in your bones. That itch to see what's over the next hill, that's his whisper. Your destiny. All the things you could be. All the places you could go. It's carried like a single grain of pollen on the invisible wings of possibility. He is the god of endless paths, not just on a map, but within your own soul. And so when your heart stirs, when you feel that undeniable call to move, to change, to seek more than what you have right now, that is not an accident. That is not just boredom or dissatisfaction. That is Stribog, the ancient wanderer, the first traveler. He is looking at you right now and he is urging you forward. He is whispering into the very core of your being. Do not cling to one place when your soul longs for the horizon. Remember this, movement is life. Stillness is only a season, a pause to gather strength. You were not made to stay rooted forever in comfort and certainty. You were made to experience, to learn, to journey. So go grow. Become the storm that clears the old and makes way for the new. And then become the peace that follows it. Find your path, the wind is waiting. Before there was earth, before there was sky, before hearts beat and winds even learned how to whisper, there was the great silence. Now this silence wasn't empty. No, it was full of sleeping dreams, like tiny seeds buried deep beneath winter snow, just waiting for the right moment. And from this sacred stillness, a single spark of infinite purpose awakened. This was Rod, the primordial father, the very first breath of creation, the silent thought that comes before the universe even speaks its own name. He didn't roar the world into being. He dreamed it, he willed it into existence. Where Rod looked, stars ignited in the darkness. Where he breathed, the first wind stirred across the void. And where he whispered, life listened, ready to begin. But even the greatest creator knows that creation needs more than just raw power. It needs harmony, it needs gentleness, it needs love. So, from his own divine essence, from the softness he kept hidden behind his infinite strength, emerged Lada. She was radiance in human form, the great mother of beauty, of peace, and of joyful, perfect order. And this is where the magic truly began, where Rod built Lada blessed, where he shaped jagged, powerful mountains she followed, filling their valleys with soft wildflowers. He summoned the great rivers, carving paths through the land, and she filled them with life and song, with the flash of a fish's scale and the murmur of flowing water. Together, they laid the foundation of existence. Not through battle, not through conflict, but through balance. Not through force, but through a perfect union, because they understood that creation isn't just the thunderclap. It's also the quiet, gentle rain that follows, nurturing everything that the thunder awakened. And so the world was born. When Rod and Lada walked across this newborn world, everything was fresh, young, trembling with possibility. The air itself hummed. Rod would carve the dark, rich soil with his powerful will, and Lada would follow, touching it with her warmth. And where she touched, green grass rose up like an emerald prayer to the new sky. He lifted the mountains high, their peaks scraping the heavens. And she crowned them with ancient silent forests, giving shade and shelter to the creatures yet to come. Rod forged the mighty beasts, the bears with their deep slumber, the wolves with their piercing gaze. And Lada? She gifted them with a mother's instinct, the drive to protect their young, to form a pack, a family. She gave the birds their melodies and the flowers their intoxicating scents. Their children, born from this divine dance, were the very elements of life itself. Svarog, the god of the celestial fire, the master craftsman who would forge the sun and place it in the sky, and Balis, the god of the underworld of waters and of the wild untamed forests. One reached for the heavens, the other for the earth's deep heart, a perfect reflection of their parents' balance. But here's the twist in their story of perfect harmony. As life flourished, a shadow began to stir. A being of chaos and destruction, Chernobog, the black god, emerged from the forgotten corners of the void. He saw their perfect order and despised it. He craved discord. He sent chilling winds to freeze Lada's flowers and dark plagues to sicken Rod's beasts. He whispered doubt into the hearts of the first humans, trying to sever their connection to the divine. The world, once a symphony, now had a note of painful dissonance. But Rod and Lada didn't meet this darkness with brute force. That wasn't their way. Instead, they reinforced their own creation. Rod strengthened the laws of nature, making the seasons turn and the sun rise no matter the shadows. And Lada, she poured even more love and beauty into the world. She taught humans how to find joy in family, how to create art, how to sing songs that could push back the darkness. She showed them that the most powerful weapon against chaos wasn't a sword, but a community, a shared meal, a story told around a fire. Their ultimate lesson wasn't that the world would be free from struggle. No, it was that for every act of destruction, there could be an act of creation. For every shadow, there is a light to be found or made. The eternal dance of Rod and Lada isn't about a finished, perfect world. It's about the ongoing process of creating, nurturing, and balancing. A dance that continues inside every forest, every river, and every single one of us. It's the strength to build, and the love that makes it all worthwhile. Have you ever wondered about the quiet, stubborn force that pushes life forward, even after the harshest winters? We often talk about the big, loud gods of thunder and wind, but there's another, more intimate power at play. Let's talk about Zhiva. They say if Stribog, the god of wind, is the breath of the world, then Zhiva is its pulse. She's the steady, rhythmic beat of life itself. Think about it. Where the wind rushes and travels, wild and free, Zhiva is what remains. Where Stribog rushes, she roots. Where he travels, she grows. She's the counterpoint, the anchor in the storm. What does she feel like? Well, Zhiva is that very first, almost imperceptible sigh of spring. You know the one. When the air just starts to feel different. She's the impossible strength of a single blade of grass breaking through a layer of hard frost. She's the raw, trembling cry of a newborn, a sound that is both fragile and fiercely alive. And she is the gentle, steady hand that mends the wounded, whether it's a broken branch or a broken heart. The stories say that when the world was young, when it was still a cold, barren place with long shadows clinging to every stone, Zhiva walked barefoot across the empty earth. And a miracle happened. Where her footsteps fell, flowers didn't just bloom, they rose up to meet her. Trees stretched their limbs towards the sky for the first time. Rivers, once sluggish and dull, learned how to sparkle under the sun. She didn't demand life to exist. She simply gave it generously and without condition. This is her quiet miracle. It's not about grand pronouncements or dramatic displays of power. It's in the small, everyday moments we often take for granted. It's the sound of birdsong cutting through the morning mist. It's the feeling of sunlight warming old wood on a porch. It's the sound of laughter finally rising after tears have been shed. That's Zhiva at work. She doesn't teach with thunder or lightning. Her lessons come with patience. She whispers through the rustling leaves, through the turning of the seasons, a simple, profound truth. Life is sacred. Life is stubborn and life always returns. And from this gentle place she watches humanity, not with the cold, judging eyes of a distant deity, but with hope. She sees her temples not in grand stone structures, but in our actions. Every seed you plant in a garden, every home that is filled with warmth and laughter, every single time a hand is extended in kindness to another living being, these are her places of worship. These are the offerings she cherishes. But don't mistake her gentleness for weakness. Zhiva is not softness alone, oh no. She protects what is hers fiercely. Because life is fragile and she understands that sacred things are worth defending with everything you have. Her warning isn't a shout from the heavens. It's a deep, rumbling echo like the sound of ancient roots gripping the earth. And it says, "What you destroy in anger, you must rebuild in love. For life is eternal, but your time is not." It's a powerful reminder, isn't it? A call to action. To cherish the breath in your lungs. To guard that inner flame of yours, that spark of life that is uniquely you. And to grow again and again and again. No matter how many times you are cut down or face a harsh winter, grow just as she does, eternally reborn in every spring and every new beginning. That is the essence of Zhiva. That is the essence of life itself.